This is Andrew with Joe to Home Inspection. We are doing a sewer scope today here in West Jordan. We're at 1558 Ponderosa. We have the camera pushed out about 90 feet to the city connection. At least it looks like it's dropping into a shared line. It makes a turn right there. I would be curious, it's possible maybe that becomes a shared line with the neighboring unit, being a kind of a twin home style, and so maybe that becomes a shared line. It might be worth checking with the city for their map. We're 85 feet out from the basement, and so we're getting to the area where I would expect it to drop into the city line. It looks a little different than typically how it drops in. Oftentimes, it drops in kind of more perpendicular, which I just saw another line feeding into this one, which makes me wonder if we've actually already dropped into the main line. It's uncommon to see lines dropping in that far out. That's a concern there. So something is pressing in on the line and constricting it 65 feet out. That's a spot where waste could potentially get stuck and create a blockage where it then backs up towards the house. And so I'd recommend getting a spot repair done here. I'm accessing the line for a clean out the basement. It's back behind the water heater, so it's honestly not a very good spot to access the line. It makes it a lot more difficult. Luckily, I was able to get my camera through. I had to use a smaller camera. Starting to go underwater, which means it's a little bit flat right there. Looks like that had a tie-in as well, 37 feet out. I would be curious what's feeding in from 40 feet out. Again, I don't think that's far enough that we're at the city, but I think we're outside the foundation of the house at 40 feet. Typically it's more straightforward. You go out and it drops in perpendicular to the city line. Maybe you'll have a clean out, but at that distance out, you really don't have openings where things are feeding into your line. Closer to the house, certainly. You know, you can have a tub or a bathroom feeding in the basement, but that far out I wouldn't expect to still be seeing pipes feeding into the line. So I would recommend 23 feet out. Now we're probably under the house. I would recommend having that one spot located where it's real compressed, and then probably having that tie-in located to find out where that is, and that would give you some insight on what's feeding into this line. A little bit of build-up. It would not be a bad idea to have that line cleaned. It's not horrible, but anytime you can get rid of some build-up, the better. You would only want to do it if you hydrojet it. Hydrojetting it would blast everything out. You really wouldn't want to cable it. That probably wouldn't do anything, or at least very little. And so if you have it cleaned, hydrojet it. But otherwise, main concern is trying to answer those questions of if this line is shared, you know, what are those items that are feeding in to your line? And then also having that spot located where it's compressed, and getting a spot repair to have that cleaned, or not cleaned, but repaired rather. Depending on where that is, that could be real costly. You know, if that's out in the street, or if it's under a sidewalk or a driveway, that's real expensive, as opposed to being under lawn, which is going to be the least expensive to dig up. I'm going to end this recording now.